I think that the institutions were putting the clients at the center, but not, they were very worried and they had a horrible time trying to be sustainable and trying to make sure that they stayed in business and they could make enough income to cover their costs. Now we have, it's clear that that is possible if you are an efficient institution and if you run the institution at minimum costs, so you try to lower your interest rates and pay attention to how a loan is affecting a client and how important it is to leave money after her or his business so he or she can help save. If they are not able to save, if they can't assure a portion of their income to be put into savings and to use that to not to depend 100% of this in credit and begin their independence from credit, we're not going to achieve ending poverty. They have to have their savings as a main source of protection. I think that the self-help groups and the programs that are promoting the savings as a source of credit for themselves, it's proving great advantage because they realize that the interest rates that they can charge for the credits that they give amongst them go back to them, and we have to be very wise because they're learning very fast that they don't need to pay those outrageous interest rates, that they could get the funding among themselves and not pay those high interest rates. They are called self-help groups, where they save and they begin to increase the amount of money that they have because of their savings, and they begin to lend among them that amount of savings, and they charge high interest rate, but they don't care because they realize that the interest rate goes back to them. So their money begins to grow, so they do have their little enterprise. I think that methodology has been proven. They have thousands of them in clients in India and Bangladesh and in other parts. So I think that that is a model that is going to prove that they could do it themselves for their own benefit. And it becomes a very powerful network of safety nets for the client. It's not only the savings and the loans, but they help each other in promoting development, in helping each other with domestic violence, with health, with education. They have a very wonderful time each time they meet because it's their own group, it's their own initiative, and it helps them improve their lives. Of course, the disintermediation of credit is going to be seen as a competition, and of course I think that, but if it's something positive for the clients, we should go for it, because it's all about not making money for the ones that already have. It's making possible that the ones that don't have money have access to that money and begin to build assets, to have more and more savings. One worry that I do have is that a lot of institutions are seeing microfinance as a big money maker for the investors, because if you are an NGO, you can't invest in an NGO, but for investors that decide to change their scheme to be a for-profit, I think that for-profit is not bad in itself, But when you don't have the soundness to limit the income that you want to get from those clients, I think that whenever you take distribute a dividend, or you end up the day or the year with X amount of surplus, you have to be aware that that surplus is coming from the pocket of a very poor client. And I think that you have to realize that that surplus could represent an extra bread for a kid, clothing for a kid, a bed where to sleep. So I think that that kind of concern for me has to come alive for the microfinance institutions. They have to be aware that they're dealing with people that are extremely poor, or poor, that what they need is more income. So you can't take all of their income away through interest rates. No. I think that it could and it should, and for profit and not for profit. Because some institutions that are not for profit, they have huge operating costs. It's the same of being for profit. I think that the key thing is to learn how the clients are doing, to see if, for instance, if you tell me that an institution is making a lot of profit, but on the other hand you can show me that the client is not only repaying the loan, but is able to have a better quality of life, and in addition their savings, they're increasing their savings and they're increasing their assets, I wouldn't say anything, but show me that. You have to be accountable for what's happening to the client. I don't care about the profitability, but if I see a profitability of, let's say, a return of 20, 50%, 10% of one institution, and on the other hand, I see the clients that are not able to take their kids to the doctor, they are not able to take the kids to school, they are not eating enough, they are not improving their house. I say something is wrong. The equation is not equal.